Hello, hello, hello. Hey, Buffy. Hey, Kyla. She says she's ready. Is she in here? Hey, Dina. Let me see if Alex is in here. I don't see her. Thank you. Let me see if I can find her. She says she's ready. Let me see where she is. I think she might be. How you guys doing? Okay. If you're winding down with something, let me know what you're winding down with this evening. Hey, Saul. Thanks, Buffy. I'm excited for this convo too. Hey, Christina. Somebody said, all we got is cognac. Hey, there's nothing wrong with cognac. That's a good wind down. I'm drinking white, but it's not Riesling because if you were here last time, you all remember. I don't see Reggie Reed's in here just yet. Winding down with coffee. That's always good too. Sweet Bish Rosé. I miss having rosé with you, Buffy. Tea for now, but wine very soon. Yes, Dina. Okay, let me see. Hey, Theo. I'm just trying to make sure I did not miss Alex. Hello. Hey, Mari. Oh, there she is. And she's going to request to join, and then we'll get started. Alex, if you see where it says request to join, hit that, and then you should be able to. Let me see if I can request you. Mm-hmm. Oh, gosh. Oh, she can't request. Maybe your app needs to be updated because you're not coming up in my where I can request you either. This is happening. Got that request. Hey, Reggie. Reggie,
Okay, I think I might be here.
you are here.
Okay, can you hear me?
I can hear you perfectly.
Okay, cool. Oh my gosh, sorry about that.
No
Technology
worries.
has not been my friend, and my AirPods aren't connecting. So if you can hear me okay, I won't use these.
Okay, you guys, give us a shout out. Can you hear everyone correctly? Nothing. Hey, Kristen. We're good on the. Okay. How are you?
I'm okay. How are you doing?
I'm doing well. It's been a crazy week and it's only Wednesday, but I'm so happy to be here with you. You have no idea.
I'm honored.
Please, you're honored. Oh my goodness. When you said yes, I literally screamed and I've been waiting for this moment.
Oh my gosh.
Yes. So I'm going to do a little kick off, and then we're just going to jump right into it. I am Jamise, and I am the host of Literary Wind Down, and I'm the bookstagrammer behind Spines and Vines. May is Mental Health Awareness Month, and I cannot think of a better person to talk to this month. I can tell you how Alex's words have strengthened me, healed me, gave me encouragement, uplifted me on so many occasions. Just always a healing and positive light. Alexandra Elle is a author and Writing to Heal facilitator. I love that, Writing to Heal. Writing came into your life by way of therapy and the exploration of healing through journaling. You teach a quarterly workshop and retreat centering around assisting others and helping them find their voices through storytelling. Your mission is to build community and self-care practices through literature and language. You host the Hey Girl podcast and are the author of many journals and books, and most recently, After the Rain.
Yes.
Yay! And encourage.
Yes. The journal.
The journal.
Yes.
Welcome. Welcome. I'm so happy to have you here.
Thank you. And can I just say, the work that you are doing is just phenomenal. And thank you for using your platform and your voice to amplify women and women of color. It's just amazing what you're doing.
Thank you so much. So for people that are new to Literary Wind Down, if you're winding down with something, it doesn't have to be wine, but drop it in the comments. And we're going to share what we're winding down with. It could be tea, it could be coffee. People have already kind of put in what they're winding down with. So I'm going to share first. I'm winding down with, I'm not really a big fan of Chardonnay, so I've been trying and exploring, but I think I found a winner. It's Brown Estate Chardonnay.
So good. They are so good, that wine.
I love all of their reds, and I love Chaos Theory is my favorite, but this Chardonnay is really good. So that's what I'm winding down with this evening.
I am winding down with ice water, infused with chlorophyll and MSM. Very boring,
but very soothing and healthy. It sounds like I'm talking to my sister because she's heavy on chlorophyll. So yes.
So that's what I'm having today. I was gonna have my wine, but I was like, I didn't have enough water today, so let me hydrate. So
okay, very well. So let's just jump right in, because can you share your origin story and just a little bit about you? You know, maybe how you came to Instagram and where did your love for writing begin?
Yeah, so a little bit about me in a nutshell. I was a pretty sad kid growing up. I have always loved writing, and writing has kind of been my outlet. But I never wrote to heal myself. I was more so writing to vent, or writing to, I don't know, I was just sad, right? So it wasn't until I went to therapy for the first time as an adult. I was 19 or 20. And I had this amazing therapist, and she gave me my emotional toolbox. And in that emotional toolbox, she said, I want you to keep your journal with you and start learning what you need and what you want and naming those things on the page. So that's really how I came to Writing to Heal. And it was extremely transformative for me because I wasn't used to doing that. I was used to, just Dear Diary experience, or writing really sad poems and stories. And you might hear my kids because they're downstairs being very loud.
I just yelled to my boyfriend before I came on, like literally just yelled.
So being able to express myself in a way that felt like I was actually getting some type of healing and getting some type of inner clarity was really how it began. And I didn't start sharing on Instagram my writings and stuff until like I was maybe 22. And the community just started growing. And I've had a couple Instagram pages since then, but this main one, the Alex Elle page, is the one that's rapidly grown, and the community is really beautiful because we are all trying to figure out who we are in this world and to connect more deeply to our highest self by way of language and literature. So that's kind of me in a nutshell.
I mean, it's just so beautiful. And you talk about the community and how it's grown, but I'd have to say, you know, what you've been putting out, you can't help but to grow because it's always so positive, so uplifting, even in the hard things.
Mm-hmm.
And so you said 22.
Mm-hmm.
So I think if I may, I think you said in an article that you were 31.
I'm 31. I'll be 32 in
Okay, so you've
July.
been, wow, what an amazing accomplishment in 9 years.
For my career, it's been wild because I started off self-published,
Mm-hmm.
and I always recommend to writers who want to write to self-publish because there's nothing greater than holding your work in your hands that you did.
Mm-hmm.
And now I am traditionally published now, but when I was self-published, I was really just, I didn't think that people were really going to buy the book. You know, I was just writing for myself, and then if friends or family, you know, wanted to support, they would. But I have people still buying my very first self-published book. I haven't taken it down off the internet yet.
Oh.
And people are still buying it. People are still carrying around the old ones. And I think what this process over the past 9 years has shown me is that we are never alone in our struggles. And and we really do need each other and each other's stories, because not everyone is going to be a writer. Not everyone is going to want to share the tender parts, the vulnerable parts. But if I can extend an invitation for them to explore that in private, in their own relationships, with themselves, that means I've done my job. And I just want folks to know that they are never alone, even when they feel like they are. And that's something I've learned firsthand.
Yeah, I think a lot of people do. I mean, at times when you're going through something, you do think that you're alone. So it's very affirming to, you know that other people are going through some of the same things.
Yeah.
I want to talk about After the Rain, and then I'm going to get into a couple of things. But I mean, you didn't write this book during the pandemic.
I did not.
You did not. And I found it was so needed during this time. I mean, how has that been? Like, it's been a healing resource for a lot of people during this time. And it wasn't written, for this moment or in this, before this moment.
Right. It's been really amazing. And I think that everything comes in divine and aligned timing. And I think that that's what After the Rain is. It is a timely sense and source of community in book form.
Mm-hmm.
I was 7.5, 8 months pregnant when I turned in the manuscript for After the Rain. And that was in late 2018, I think. No, it was 2019. I had my last daughter. It was 2019. I was huge. I was exhausted. I was tired. And I was just ready to, like, y'all take this book and don't bother me. Let me go have this baby. And then the pandemic hit. I had her in September, and the pandemic hit in, January. And we really started finding things out, how serious things were, I guess, around March. And I was so nervous because I didn't want this book to seem like it was like filled with fluff, because it's not. It's very tender, it's very vulnerable. And I wasn't sure how that would do in a pandemic. My tour was canceled and everything else in between. But it's been really beautiful to see how many folks have resonated with this book, and how timely it has been for so many people.
Yeah, it really has. I mean, I think the passion, the vulnerability, you're very honest in this book. And so can you talk a little bit about writing and then the life lessons, the 15 life lessons, and what was the most difficult or the most healing to write? What part of the story? Because there's a lot of information in here.
Yeah.
You go deep. You go really deep.
Yeah. It was, to be honest, every chapter was a whirlwind emotionally, because I had to reach back and think about my childhood. I had to reach back and think about some tender bits in my marriage, I had to reach back to think about the loss of my mother-in-law. And to be honest, the whole book was like an emotional roller coaster. Like I would have to take breaks. I would have to go away to write because I couldn't do it here at the house. And I think my favorite chapter by far is Change. That's the very first chapter.
Yeah.
It's kind of funny, and it kind of shows my personality. And you know, it's pretty. It's just really easy to read and fun. And I've heard like, oh my gosh, that was me. You know, from so many different people. And then I think the other really like kind of challenging one to write was Compassion, which was about my relationship with my mom and when I went to go visit a friend and her mom on their farm, and how I was really jealous of their relationship because I didn't have that with my mother. And just the lesson in accepting and greeting my mother where she was and seeing her as an individual and not just my mother. So that was pretty challenging to write because I knew that I wanted to just, even through everything that I've written about me and my mom's relationship, I knew that I wanted to greet it with compassion, you know, because I'm not only telling my story, I'm telling someone else's as well. I think that that's really important as writers, to hold space for the compassion when we are sharing multiple facets of ourselves and of our stories.
Yeah, well, speaking of change, because I have a note here, there's something you said, shed what is no longer needed. And that's one thing that I had highlighted under the change. And then a chapter that I really enjoyed was Love.
Yeah, that was a fun one to write.
Yeah, I really enjoyed the chapter because, I mean, you talk about, I think I saw myself in the story because you talk about how, you know, you gave up all these things and you really started to focus on yourself. And it was in that moment of focusing on yourself is that kind of love entered your life.
Yeah, that's exactly what happened. That's exactly what happened.
And that's what happened to me. So I was kind of like, it's just, I was reading and I was like, wow, this is so can you talk a little bit about that? Because I love that story.
Thank you. So that story is about how me and my husband met. We've been together almost 9 years now. We've been married for almost 5. At the end of this month, it'll be 5 years on the 28th. And we were in a long distance relationship. He was in LA. I was here in Maryland. And I had gone through this shedding, truly. Like I knew that I wanted a committed partnership. I knew that I wanted more children. And I also knew that I had to get to know myself before I could receive the love that I deserved from an outsider. I had to love myself. I wanted to love myself. I wanted to stop counting on other people to love me the way that I should love myself. Because that was my bad habit. It was to kind of get people perform so that people could love me, and then I would still be unhappy and I would still not be seeing myself in the light that I deserve to be seen in. So I shed a lot of things and I stopped dating. I was alone for about a year. Sex, I had no friends. I was really like, get to know yourself. And I happened to meet my husband during that time, and we fell in love in LA, and I went back and forth to visit him like every 6 weeks, and then around the year mark, he came and moved here. And it was just like, it just felt right. For the first time in my life, it felt right. It felt easy.
Yes.
Yes. Yeah, it's a fun chapter. I don't want to give it all away, but it's a fun chapter.
I've read it numerous times. It's so true. And it's so honest. And when you talk about not having sex, I had said to someone many years ago, I said, when I did that, it was the clearest I have ever been in my life.
Because you're not full-time.
People don't believe me. I'm like, that's the clearest my mind has been in my life is when I did that. And so to hear you say this in the story, it kind of affirms how I felt when I chose to make that decision. So I'm going to do a little something because I found you through your Post-it notes.
Oh, my Post-its.
Yes. So the Sharpie and the gentle reminders and encouragement. And so how did this come to be? Because that's how I found you. And that's when I was like, oh my gosh. And then started digging more to learn more about you.
So I've always been a fan of writing notes to myself. When I really started digging into my healing and leaning into positive self-talk, I wanted something that was simple and easy and that could affirm what I knew to be true without it being too deep. And I really started writing them again on the sticky notes and on the scrap pieces of paper when me and my husband were trying to conceive Isla, who is now 3. And we had walked through miscarriage and just a really challenging time with conception. And I was just sad. I felt defeated. I felt like I wasn't worthy. I talk about this in the book. I felt like I was being punished because I had a child out of wedlock at 18. And I felt like, of course, I meet this amazing man. He's my best friend. I love him so much. And of course, we're not able to conceive. And I was just really sad and felt like God was punishing me. And then I had to reframe my thought process.
Yes.
And I remember thinking, well, this negative self-talk is not going to get you pregnant. And it's also not going to make you feel good about yourself. So how can we reframe this? And that was me digging into my emotional toolbox that my therapist gave me years ago, and remembering that I had my answers and I could affirm myself and that all will be well in due time. And that's really how I started writing them again. And so when people see those notes, they are literally, quite literally, for me.
Yes.
And I'm glad that so many other people resonate, but they are definitely written for me. Because I struggle too, still.
They're always right on time, though. I'm gonna have you to expound on. I'm gonna give you 4, and these are the ones that I've saved for myself. My absolute favorite.
Okay.
You are not for everyone, and that is a blessing.
Yep.
That's like my favorite one.
Yep.
There's so many, but that's my favorite one.
Yep.
You want to expound on that? How does that help you?
I think in many ways, especially as a woman and as a Black woman and as a Black woman in this work, you know, it can be really challenging to not fall victim to the feelings of rejection that we get as human beings. And that was just my reminder to stay rooted in who I am, even if I'm not received by everybody, even if everyone doesn't like the work or everyone doesn't like me. That's okay. That's a blessing. And because that is a blessing, I am able to open up and make space for what does matter and who I am for. So yeah.
I love it. It's like I look at it all the time.
Good. Yes. Keep that. And I always tell people, keep it where you can see it, because
yes.
Yeah. That's important.
I think I share it all the time. It's just such. That's my favorite one. Okay. If it doesn't elevate or support your growth, it's time to let it go.
Yeah.
Any thoughts on that one?
Letting go makes space for what is truly for us.
Okay.
Period. I believe that.
Period. Yeah.
Yeah. And I really, and to dig a little bit deeper is that, like, I'm a chronic hold on toer. So that is the reminder to unfurl those hands and let it go. Everything can't come with you. Everything won't grow with you, and neither will everyone. So as someone who used to shrink themselves in hopes of being seen safe and supported, or feeling seen safe and supported in the eyes of other people, that wasn't getting me anywhere. So, but letting go was, making room was. And I often say releasing to receive. So what will happen if I release this? What am I making space for? And that's some inner dialogue that I have with myself.
I like that. Releasing to receive. Buffy, make a note of that, please. She said, say that again. So here's another one. Dear self, action also requires rest. Give yourself permission to do so.
Mm-hmm.
So can you talk about rest and the need for it? That's another one that stays.
Yeah. Well, I wrote that during the uprisings last year, and it was a nudge to everyone who shows up in this work as a healer, as an activist, as an advocate, that if we are not resting, we cannot be well for the community we're trying to serve. We are not the best, our most intentional self for the community that we're trying to serve. So giving ourselves permission to rest and to be okay with that is just necessary in all facets of our life, right? And I don't want to do anything where I feel empty and depleted, because I've done that before and it doesn't serve me or anybody else around. So yeah, that's what I would say to that. And Trisha Hersey of the Nap Ministry has really, just through her posts, has really just nudged me to go sit down somewhere, as she says.
We all need to.
Yes, because and rest is important in so many different ways, and we don't do that enough because we live in a world where it's go 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 always, right? Yes. It's like what happens when we slow down? There's magic there too.
Okay, my last post-it. May you be brave enough to choose yourself, even when others don't. Like those four, it's just on constant rotation for me.
I'm really glad that you like those.
Yes, I do. I do. So choosing yourself, can you share how we do that? How does it really, I mean, how did you do that?
Self-choosing is not easy. Especially when we are taught to put everybody else before ourselves, especially as women and especially as women of color. That's and that's also what we kind of witness, right? With mamas and grandmamas, and you know, we show up, we do the thing, we get it done, and it doesn't matter. Everything else doesn't matter. And I'm here to dismantle that, because everything else does matter. Because if I show up empty, I'm not choosing myself, right? How can I show up for someone else if I am empty? So it really goes hand in hand with the radical act of choosing yourself, so that you're not only good for yourself, but also your community. And a big part of my work is self-care as this act of community care. I talk about it often. Care isn't just this thing that we do to unwind or whatever. It is truly a way to reconnect with ourselves so that we can intentionally connect with the outside world. Yes. And that requires self-choosing and making time to do that.
Yeah. How do you make self-care a part of your daily life? Because I think, you know, so many people use the word self-care, but you know, what are you actively doing in your daily life, you know, to make that a part of, you know, your routine?
For me, during the pandemic, it's been getting back to basics. So it's been brushing my teeth, getting dressed. Like with 3 kids, it is never easy, okay, to do anything. And we're all home.
Right.
So I jokingly say that, but I mean, I'm dead serious. Like,
I mean, I feel you.
Like washing my face, locking the bathroom door so I can just have a moment, and making the bed in the morning. My bed is not made right now. It's a mess. It's right in front of me, and I'm like, whew, this ain't it. I love how I feel when my bed is made. That's an act of self-care. Keeping a gratitude list, which is something that has brought me back to paying attention. And anyone can do a gratitude list. Open up the notes thing in your phone or have a journal by your bed. Self-care doesn't have to be this expensive thing. It can be easy. It can be hydrating. Instead of having wine, even though I want wine, I'm going to have my chlorophyll water. You know what I mean? Like, just the little things, just the getting back to basics. And that's really what I want to normalize too. I want to normalize taking care of ourselves, meaning doing the most basic things. Are we eating? Are we moving our body? Are we listening to music that fuels us? Are we laughing? Right? It's not always expensive. Sometimes it's right at our fingertips.
Yes. And I like that you emphasize that it's not expensive. It's something that you can just do, with the notepad or in your phone, just so many gems. I hope you guys are all getting this down. So you speak about gratitude.
Yeah.
And I am a subscriber.
Yay to the Gratitude Daily newsletter.
Yes. I love Gratitude Daily. So if you guys don't know, I'm going to let you tell them what Gratitude Daily is. I love it.
Okay. I'm glad you love it. I started Gratitude Daily in October of 2020. What year again? Lord, in 2020, because I was having a really hard time with my anxiety, and I was also having a hard time with appreciating the little things. And I wanted to start a practice that was quick and easy that I could do, but I was like, if I know if I'm feeling like this, the community is feeling like this too. So really, it's a call in for me and everyone else who is on the newsletter to take note, mental note, and also tangible note of the micro moments of gratitude that greet us. It's a short newsletter. It's quick. It's easy. Sometimes I'll have a call to action in there.
Yes.
I'm doing a daily gratitude practice right now for the month of May. And normally it was October, November daily gratitude. And then it went to weekly gratitude just because my schedule kind of got hectic. But I'm still keeping my notepad and keeping it going. So this month we're just focusing on the micro moments, and I'm calling people in to do the same. And it's been really fun. And the community has been sharing back with me a lot more, which I love, reading the emails and sharing them in the newsletter too. So yeah, that's what Gratitude Daily is.
So day 10, you said, today I'm grateful for working towards inner peace.
Yeah.
And you had us our call to action was to listen to a song. It was Braveheart?
Yes, by Amel LaRue.
Brave Bird. Yes.
Brave
right.
Bird.
Brave Bird.
Yep.
Brave Bird. Amel LaRue. And then you also included the community gratitude. Someone from the community shared what they were grateful for. I think they said 15 minutes of meditation helped them connect to themselves. So if you guys don't subscribe to Gratitude Daily, I highly recommend that you do. It's very helpfpful. So speaking of your day 10, you said working towards inner peace. And I read an article where you said, no, it's not an article. You said this in a post. For the rest of 2021, I'm going to be focusing more intentionally on my inner peace.
Yeah.
What does that look like for you? And how are you preparing to do that? Because I think we all could use some tips on.
So inner peace is always tricky, because I notice that when I'm not rooted like deeply into my mindfulness practice or my meditation practice, I lose sight of my inner peace because I'm not giving myself the time and space to pay attention, right? This is really what the daily gratitude does for me, is it allows me to pay attention and to recall my day, and not the big moments of my day, even if I have the most basic day, the small moments. And that an inner peace is really important to me because it's so easy to get distracted. It's so easy to lose sight and have things become chaotic. But what we can control is our inner environment. And when that is out of control for me, my anxiety flares and my depression rears its head, and I'm not focused and all these things. So it's really just a call in for me to be more mindful and to pay closer attention to how I'm feeling, so that I can be peaceful, even through adversity, right? Because I think that can really throw us off too. If we're going through something or a challenging time, our inner peace is, not centered. And I'm working on getting centered even when things are challenging.
That's it, even when things are challenging. So someone asked, how do they sign up? I think there's a link in your
in my bio.
In her bio. The link's in her bio on our Instagram page. So perfect. So here we go. I'm going to get to the questions, you guys. If you have any, there's 4 questions. I'm going to get there, I promise. So because it's Mental Health Awareness Month, I know for me, coming out of 2020, a lot of people may be feeling stuck and having a hard time finding their joy. And so what advice do you give to people, especially, taking care of their mental health?
That's a really good question. And I think I'm still moving through that. joy looks different for me lately, and as someone, I'm home with my kids, my husband is home with us. I've been having to really like pay attention to what brings me joy, because now I'm thrusted into a new identity almost, because we are all home together all day. So it's like, how do I find my joy outside of motherhood and being a partner with someone, right? How do I recalibrate and figure out what I need and what I want? And I have to sit and think about it. It's not easily accessible. I really have to get close to myself and say, Alex, what do you need and what do you want? And not feel guilty for saying that I need quiet time, that I need alone time, that I need, to be outside on a long walk, even though I have hundreds of emails to answer, and not getting anxious because there's not enough time in the day, right? So it's also those little moments and those shifts that bring me back to finding joy in the chaos, and being able to press pause. Everything else can wait, and get to my joy, right? So something that me and my husband started doing during the pandemic was having staycations. So I would go away and come back, and then he would go away for a few days and come back, and then me and my oldest daughter would go away and come back to an Airbnb, and that really helped reconnect to self, and also it gave us a change of scenery and something to miss, so that's a moment of joy for me. And I was able to tell my husband, like, I need that, and he was able to say to me, oh, I need that too, right? So I think that's a moment of joy as well, just being able to lean on the people that we love and tell them what we need and feel safe.
Right. And I think a lot of us, in expressing what we need, we often feel guilty. I'm an empty nester, but still, even with kids not in the home, you're still giving of yourself. But you're right. You do need the times. I know personally, I need my space, time for myself. I have to have it. I'm not a nice person if I don't have that time. I need it. So let me, so before I go to the questions, I promise I'm getting there.
Yes.
The Hey Girl podcast.
Oh yeah, my little passion baby project.
Yes. Can you talk about that? You started in 2017?
Yeah. I don't even know how that happened. It just happened. And it's been really amazing. I love my little Hey Girl podcast. We've grown so much. We reach about 3.5 million listeners, and that's wild. That's wild to me.
Wow.
But it's a podcast with sisterhood and storytelling in mind, and I sit down with really amazing women to talk about business and friendship and healing, and of course, taking care of ourselves and everything else in between. And it's just really fun. So yeah.
Hey guys, check out the Hey Girl podcast. Let me see, we got questions. Oh, someone said, this is a good question. Okay. How can you work on healing when you don't have the resources or the finances to go to a therapist?
That's a great question.
It's a great question.
Excuse me. I'm going to plug the Loveland Foundation here, founded by Rachel Cargill.
Yes.
That organization provides free therapy service to Black women and girls. They're doing phenomenal work. Check them out. Check their services out. Absolutely free therapy services if you are looking for a therapist. If that's still not an option for you, or you're not quite sure you're ready to take the dive into therapy, I'm always going to say pick up that pen and that journal. And I have some free writing practices on alexelle.com under the freebies tab, where you can go and explore guided journaling. I have meditations on Insight Timer, and this app called Ritual.io. That is a writing to heal meditation session. So there's so many different avenues that we can go to tap into our healing. And I would say if you're looking for therapy, to start at the Loveland Foundation for sure.
There you go. People were asking, I'm putting it in the comments, but yeah, it's the Loveland Foundation. Yeah. I follow them actually.
Mm-hmm.
I do.
They're wonderful.
You know, this is an interesting question too. Someone says, for those of us who want the opposite, you know, like we have homes full of people, but you do, I don't, but they want someone to come home to, kids or pets, in their house other than themselves. What's advice you can give them when they feel like they're being hermits? Or I guess when they're feeling alone?
That's a good question. So they're asking, or they're saying that they want
the kids, the family, and things to come home to, but they feel like they're being a hermit. I guess they're having a lot of alone time.
Well, I would say enjoy your alone time, because being alone,
a facilitator, but I was gonna say the same thing.
Being alone and being single, there's so many blessings there. And as someone who, all jokes aside, I had my oldest daughter, I was 18, so I've never been alone. I've grown up with her. I've grown up with someone. But even though I've been a parent since I was young, something that I did realize is when I decided that I wanted a husband and I wanted more children, I chose to work on myself in the alone time that I did get. And I talk about that in After the Rain, like how my friend group changed, how I did retreat, and I went inside of myself and got to know myself. And what I mean by that is, like, really quite literally, what foods did I like? What did I like to cook? Where did I like to go by myself? What music did I like? What movies? Like, really, dare I say, dating myself? What flowers do I like? Making my own bouquets. What tea do I want to drink? What do I like? Coffee, which I love coffee. Now I love coffee. I wasn't sure. What coffees can I try at this new cafe, right? Or what type of friends do I want? And writing these things down and trying new things and meeting new people as time allowed, but also meeting myself, because I didn't know who I was. So in those moments of isolation and alone time, get up close and personal with yourself. I know people talk about like how sometimes being single is sad, but I don't believe that. Being single is beautiful. Being child-free is beautiful in its own right, especially if you're not sure if you're going to have children or if you want to have children. So there are so many different ways that we can like finesse this, right? And have it turn into this really powerful self-reflective time, so that if we become partners, or if we become parents, we know what we want and what we like, and how we can identify that and how we can name what we need to those around us. I'm big on that.
So when I got divorced, you say dating yourself, and for a long time I didn't date, but then I learned, one of the biggest things that I learned was being alone with myself and enjoying myself. I was never one that would go out to eat by myself. I wouldn't go to the movies by myself. And then there's times when friends are doing their own thing and people are doing their own, and you don't have anyone else but yourself.
Yeah.
And so I learned that I can go and have a drink at the bar by myself with the book, of course. But I love my space.
Yeah.
And so I guess I say that out there to the people who are saying, you're right. It makes you, when it's time for someone else to enter your space, you're able to tell them what you like, about yourself.
Yeah. And you're clear, right?
You're very
clear.
You're very clear.
Yep.
You're very clear. Oh my gosh. Okay, hold on. Let me see if there's another. This has been, I wish my daughter was on here watching this. Someone asked this question, and I know it's virtually, I feel impossible. How can you live without having to worry about the many things that are going on in your life.
Oh my goodness.
And it's impossible. And I'm not a professional. It's virtually impossible.
You know what, that's a really great question though, because when I started doing this healing work, I thought that healing meant I had no worries. I would have no worries. I would be healed, right?
Mm-hmm.
But we're humans. We're always going to have worries.
Mm-hmm.
And what I encourage people to do who take my courses or who come to my workshops and retreats is like, let's not turn away from our worry. Let's not turn away from our fear. Let's turn toward it. Let's see what it's trying to teach us. And let's face the fact that it's okay to have worries and anxieties and fear. We can decide to journey through life with them without letting them be the driver of our life, without letting them stop us. And I think that that's really the beauty in the duality of I can be scared and I can be brave at the same time, right? I can be healing and I can still have tender points that need my attention, that I need to work on. And when we give ourselves the space to show up and do it and hold both, I think there's a lot of beauty in that, and it allows us, again, to get to know ourselves and get to identify our needs. And as a worrier, I am a chronic worrier. Thank you, anxiety. I have had to get curious about my worry. Why do I feel this way? Where am I feeling it in my body? Like quite literally asking myself, okay, Alex, your shoulders are up to your ears. What is going on? Drop your shoulders. Let's talk about it. And it takes a lot of practice because sometimes it's scary what comes up. Like I'm feeling triggered about childhood trauma, or what if I don't get another book deal, or like all these big things, right? And it's like worrying distracts us from our joy. Worrying distracts us from our gratitude. Worrying distracts us from living. So how can we, yes, hold space for our worry, but also, yes, understand that we can't control anything but ourselves.
Mm-hmm.
Starting there. That's a great question, especially as a worrier. I feel them. It's hard.
So I will have to say this, and I don't know how you will feel about this, but I think when some of the things like we were talking about worry, I will also, for me personally, from someone coming from a more mature space,
mm-hmm.
my worry is a lot less.
Why is that? Do you think?
Age and life lessons. Mm-hmm. I'm 20 years older than you.
Mm-hmm.
So I think we all have a sense of worry all the time. I think just in the matter of how I respond to it. And I don't know if that's part of growing and then life lessons.
I would say.
I just approaching things differently because we all have worry.
Yeah.
I think I just approach it differently.
Mm-hmm.
And I give myself space and thought before I react.
See, and that's what I was going to say. It sounds like to me that I hear you say, and when I am your age, I pray to have the grace and the eloquence as you. But what I heard you say was you don't react to your worry. You take a beat, think about it so that you can intuitively and intentionally respond. And that's what I'm working on doing.
Yeah.
As well.
Yeah. But your words and your post-its and daily affirmations, they help me. They keep me focused. You know, we all fall short, but it definitely keeps me focused. So, can you talk about your Healing Your Heart course, which I desperately want to take?
Yeah. So, oh my gosh, so teaching online was a blessing of the pandemic, I will say, because everybody had to pivot. I feel like that's the word of the year, right? We pivot.
Definitely. Mm-hmm. Pivot. That's the word of the year.
So in January of 2020, I decided I would do a virtual course by the nudging of a friend of mine. She was like, girl, you need to do virtual. You know, it's great and people want this from you. And I was really nervous because I was like, so much work, you know, it's another thing on my plate. And she was like, just try it. and let's see what happens. So she helped me and we tried it and it was a big success. And then I was like, oh, that was cute. That was fun. But I'm ready to be in person again. So in March, I was set to start going to different retreat centers and teaching. But of course, COVID happened and I did not do that. And I asked my husband, I said, should I do another course? And he was like, yeah, why not? And that's how it started. So I taught 5,000 people last year.
Oh my goodness.
5,000 people showed up to Write to Heal. And it has been so stunning to be able to see the transformation within this community and having people trust me from all over the world with them for a month at a time. We dive into a self-paced course and it's $49.99 for 4 weeks, which comes out to about $12.50 a week. And people were like, Alex, that's too low. You could get so much more. I said, I don't want so much more. It's not about the money. It's about the healing. The money will come.
Right.
It's about the healing for the community. And each course, we just started getting more and more people. And now I'm on track this year to teach about 20,000 people. So, and I give away scholarship spots to college students, to folks who don't have the $49.99 in their budget. And something that's really beautiful about that is this woman last year, I will never forget, and she's the reason why I've continued to do scholarship. She couldn't afford the course and I gave her a spot. And then my next course, so each course is different. They're different each quarter. My next course, she bought 5 spots for her and her friends and they did it together. And she said, you gifting me a space in your course it changed my life and I am forever grateful. And I was just like, you never know whose heart you're going to touch and who needs you.
Yes.
And
absolutely.
So I got off track, but I get really passionate.
No, you're not off track. This is right. I mean, I had this on here because I wanted to talk about it because I think your next course is coming up.
Yeah, in June. So the registration is open. And it's the second Healing Your Heart course because people were like, I missed the first one. So I'm offering it again. And it's 4 weeks long and it starts June 6th and it's self-paced, but we have this beautiful Mighty Network community where folks can share their work. They get voice note check-ins from me. We have Zoom call and it's just really, really fun. It's just fun and it's stretching work. It's not always easy facing yourself on the page.
Right.
But it has shown me, again, to loop back to what I said earlier, that we are not alone in our struggles.
And it's virtual, correct?
And it is virtual.
It's virtual. And someone's asking, hold on, I'm getting all the questions. You can sign up on, the link is in your bio as well, right?
It is.
So everything you need is in her bio. Everything.
I have a link tree, and there's a bunch of links there for everyone to click through.
So you guys, I expect all of you to head over to the bio, her page, sign up for that if you would like to, and the gratitude daily. Perfect. So before I let you go, and this has been I cannot thank you enough. I cannot thank you enough.
Thank you.
And I think I'm gonna donate a scholarship for you to the so I'll reach out to you about that.
Yes.
But how do you make time for you with all that you're doing?
Yeah.
Daughters, wife, workshops, writing. How do you make time for you?
So my husband is always like, are you home? I heard the car pull up. And I'm like, yeah, I'm in the car. He's like, you've been in the car for 30 minutes. What are you doing? And I'm like, I'm just chilling. So lately, that is my reconnection. That is my self-care, is being in the car, listening to music out front and just enjoying that. And I always used to think like about my mom doing that. Like, what is she doing? Like, why is she? Now I know what she's doing. And I read a lot of books, not always cover to cover because kids and time, but I pick up a lot of self-help books that I can skim through and pick up and put down. And I also listen to a lot of instrumental music because that really helps me get into the vibe and the zone. So that's what I do. Nothing fancy, y'all. Just Someone said car therapy. That is it.
Car therapy.
I love
And
that. That is exactly what it is.
Car therapy. So you say that you skim books. Before we got to get a book recommendation because
Yes.
this is a literary wind down.
Yes.
You have a book recommendation for folks?
I'm actually looking over at my nightstand right now. So on my nightstand right now, I have Set Boundaries, Find Peace by Nedra Tawwab. Yes, it's so good. Wake Up Grateful by Christy Nelson. Amazing book. And The Courage to Be Unliked. I forget who that's by.
Interesting.
But it's really good. It's by a Japanese author, I believe. And what else? I have a stack of books like over on this side. Oh my gosh. The Secret Lives of Church Ladies.
Yes.
By Disha Filyal.
Such a great.
Oh my gosh. It is the first fiction book in a long time that I've been able to just get.
It's so great. I wish Disha was on here. Did you give her a shout out? I'm going to tell her.
Oh my gosh. I'm going to be talking to her on my podcast this summer, and I literally can't wait. Like, I am so in love with that book, and I've been making peach cobbler a lot more because of Disha. And I sent her a message that said, I am thanking you, okay, for all these peach cobblers that I'm making because of that book. But yeah, those are some of my favorites.
Great. This has been absolutely amazing. I mean, I'm going to watch it, I know, so many times. And I wish you all the peace, joy, and happiness. You are absolutely phenomenal. And I cannot thank you enough for all the work that you're doing in the community. You're healing people's hearts and minds, and it's a beautiful thing.
Thank you so much.
All right. Take care. You guys head over to her Instagram page and hit the links in the bio.
Yes, I'd love to see you in the course. Okay,
I'm definitely going to sign up.
Okay.
All right. Take care. Bye-bye.
Bye.